It's me. It's my turn.
Geelong.
Excellent. The Cats. All right. This is a really weird club to sort of try and evaluate.
Oh, you're going to be very interested where I've got them.
Because, I'm going to guess that you've got them low, but we'll get to that. What did they achieve last year? Well, they finished with a minor premiership with a 16-6 record and
For all that meant.
135.7% on the table. So, obviously, you look at that and you go like, oh my god, this team is outstanding. Well, they weren't that outstanding. They're all right. Minor premiership, quite comfortably beaten by the actual best side in the competition on the prelim final day.
20 points.
Wasn't it?
No, I wouldn't say it was comprehensive. It wasn't until the last quarter.
Yeah, I just got the sense watching the game. I just always thought Richmond.
I'm pretty sure Geelong were up in the last quarter. At the start of the last quarter,
Shit, were they?
It was only I think the last 15 minutes that that Richmond actually took control of the game and blew Geelong away. But I'm pretty sure up to about the last 15 minutes of the game, Geelong were in front.
I still never felt like they were going to win. They've lost.
That's how I felt like that's what I felt about the Packers this year.
You didn't need to bring that up. We're on an AFL stream, Joel. Jeez.
Why is audio?
I'm starting.
Low? What audio is low? I don't know.
Maybe it's us. That may be us. Thank you for the tip, Andrew. Much appreciated. Anyways, Geelong have lost Tim Kelly, Zach Smith, Scott Selwood, Lockie Henderson. Those are the notable ones that I thought. As Andrew just said, yes, it is our audio. But they gained Jack Stephen, which is very interesting. Whether you like it or not, you've got to admit that that's interesting. Josh Jenkins, another one that's very interesting.
Yep.
Cooper Stevens, first-round draft pick. Sam DeConning, first-round draft pick. So, drafted... all right. I didn't love their draft. I thought there were picks on the board that they could have used more. I thought if they were going to get Cooper Stevens, who's really tough and inside, why didn't they get Devin Robertson, was my question, who obviously ended up at Brisbane.
I love how Andrew joins the stream, joins the chat right as we're talking about Geelong.
Yeah, that was well timed, actually. That was perfect. I think the determining factor for Geelong, or at least like call it the burning question, it's going to be like how valuable was Tim Kelly to them? Like
I don't think that's their only issue.
I don't think it's their only issue, but I think ultimately like that's what I look at and I go, like, that's what I'm most interested to find out this season. Like a lot of people, if you're a Geelong fan and you want to be optimistic, you're probably going, oh, well, we didn't need him. We still have Dangerfield who can make a difference, and we still have all these other guys. But to me, Dangerfield's the only one that can make his own difference that's left. Yeah. I don't rate Joel Selwood as a match-winning difference maker anymore by any stretch. Gary Ablett's, a bazillion years old. So there's that. And then I don't know how they're going to like get themselves up for games where Kelly just brought that perfect mix of the inside, the outside, the scoring, the tackling, like did that little bit of everything really, really well. So I'm just really keen to see how Geelong are going to try to cover that. It's probably just going to be the Dangerfield show, I think. Down back, I think Jack Henry's going to continue to grow defensively. I think he's a good player in my eyes. And I actually liked the addition of Josh Jenkins just to I don't think Josh Jenkins is going to light the house on fire for them. But just to alleviate some pressure from Tom Hawkins. It's been a while since Tom Hawkins had a genuine right-hand man.
Radically has been...
Who I'm very excited for this season. He's an excitement machine. Although, the player that I did write down when I said I'm excited for was Charlie Constable.
Yep.
Just with Tim Kelly freeing up midfield time and midfield minutes, someone's got to grab him, whether that's a shift in role for someone like Jordan Clark or someone like Stephen or Dalhouse sort of soaks them up and they go for a bit more experience. I thought Constable in the games he plays was really, really good last year.
For the most part, yeah.
And I think he's got deficiencies he can work on, but I think he'll get his chance to step up, and I like it. To see him grow will be interesting. Now, expectation / pass mark I've written down. I don't know. I mean, if you think inside, again, I'm going to look to internal expectations. And inside the walls of GNH whatever stadium.
Gyms, FBA.
Yeah, inside of ABCDEFG Stadium. I think they're going to expect big things still. I mean, the Cats fans expect nothing but success because they're spoiled. So, I think that's too optimistic though. they're another team that it's ridiculous because Essendon finished what 7th or 8th, 7th.
No, they finished 8th.
They finished 8th, and I said if there was a team that's going to drop out, it's them. If there's another team that's going to drop out, it's probably Geelong, and they finished 1st.
Yeah.
I just don't think Geelong can back up what they did last year. I think teams will sort of figure them out. They don't strike me as a threat. So I've got them 9th. I've got Geelong 9th and missing finals. I'm sorry, Andrew. I apologise. I've got Geelong 9th.
Oh, yeah, just wait until you get to mine.
I figured yours
how
was
about
gonna be a
how
bit
about you,
gloomy.
Joel? What's your take on Geelong?
Oh, Geelong. Look, they are the epitome of boom or bust. They're either going to be like really good in the regular season, in the home and away season, before they choke in the finals again, or Selwood and Ablett age like the Nazi that chose poorly in the Last Crusade, and it all falls apart.
Wow!
Your anecdotes are on another level, man. I'm not gonna
I
lie.
stole that off of someone else, but I thought, yeah, no, that's appropriate.
I don't know if I'd call it appropriate, but but anyways,
Relevant, sure.
where do you sort of see Geelong finishing, mate? Where do you have them? I guess floating around.
Okay, so
Are they a finals team or not? Is my question. I'm going to put that.
Actually, where did you have them finish?
9th.
9th was your position. Okay, yep.
Yeah.
if it all holds together for another year, I could see them. I'll say 4th.
Okay.
All falls apart.
Well,
Okay, you're
let's
optimistic.
let's take out the
Well-
pretext there, though. Where are they finishing this year? Not if it all holds. Where are they finishing?
7th,
7th.
but that's on a
Well, Andrew in the chat's got them 6th.
That's
That's obviously
6th.
his team, but yeah, so you're floating somewhere around with Andrew. So
yeah, but
Yeah.
I
Gee,
feel like it's
You
going
guys
to be
are
like
so optimistic with
I
these
got them ninth.
teams.
They
With
finished
these, they're
first.
so
Did you
optimistic.
just have them winning the spoon or something?
Nah, nah.
Where's Geelong for you?
So Geelong for me is a real big concern because their reliance on their old players is way too heavy. On players like Selwood, like they still rely on Ablett. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, they do. Definitely.
Last year was his first year, second year back at the club.
I think it was his first. I can't remember though.
No, second year.
Right, okay.
Because he almost, I can remember him almost. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, go on.
So this will be his 3rd year back at the club, but their reliance on him to just do something when they're struggling is too much. Their reliance on Dangerfield too much. Their midfield is a worry for me, only in that they still do rely a bit on Selwood, and the loss of Tim Kelly is going to be worrying. I do know that Duncan runs through there as well, and he's a super quality player.
Damn, I forgot about Duncan doing this whole thing.
The problem for me is their reliance on their older players is so heavy that if they start to drop off, I don't feel like they have the youth there to be able to pick up the slack yet. They do have really good core young players there, but I don't feel they're ready to take that load on yet. And I think that to go ahead and go further again, they have to come right down, force that development in the younger players to then come back up again next year.
Yeah.
So I feel like they're going to be like a Hawthorn Sydney this year, like Hawthorn Sydney last year.
Yeah.
This year, I've got them finishing on both of my ladders in 16th. Oh no, sorry,
15th.
I've got 15th and 15th. Yeah, both of my ladders is 15th. So I've got them dropping way down.
I can see your case for that. Like, I'm not arguing the points that you just raised. Like I said at the outset of this, I'm quite conservative in the tips that I tend to make in terms of ladders. So 9th for me is like, yeah, 100%. I could see them dipping that far. I do want to ask you about the young talent though, because the praise on them early last year, at least, might have faded away a little bit later.
Well, that's because they're young. So
was that they were bringing,
they fade out in the late game,
and that was the praise on Geelong, was that they were bringing young kids through while sustaining some success.
But however, early on in the year, and this is what happened last year, early on in the year, they had to rely on that younger talent.
Myers, Constable, Clark,
winning games for them. But in the back half of the year, when those players start to drop off because they don't have the tanks, they're young players, Geelong became the most inconsistent team. They didn't win or lose 2 games in a row. Win, loss, win, loss. All the way to the end of the finals,
for
right?
8 or 9 weeks.
Exactly. They became the most inconsistent team in the competition by such a long way because of their reliance on the young players. And I feel like that's going to happen again this year. They might get out to a bolter of a start, not as good a start as what they did last year. They might get off to a bolter of a start again this year, but the bottom is just going to fall out much sooner because their older players are going to fall out much sooner this year than what they did last year.
And there's no Tim Kelly safety net. Who
but
bailed them out a lot.
To be fair, the team's not one player though. So
no, I never thought that they ultimately relied on him, but I just think missing him, they'll realise how much they relied on him when they miss him is sort of my feel. That's
possibly,
how I feel about it.
But yeah, 15th for me is where they end up, which might be harsh, might not be, but that's where I've got them.